This is a certificate of accomplishment presented to Jack Walsh upon your receipt of the 47th Annual Charles H. Flynn Humanitarian Award from the Valley United Way as President and Chief Operating Officer of the Valley United Way from 1989 through 2016, and someone whose lifelong dedication to the Valley has been an animating factor of your career. There is truly no more fitting recipient of this prestigious honor. Senator Chris Murphy. And finally, and this is from Rosa, Rosa has for you a congressional record statement. And for those of you that don't know what a congressional record statement is, this will be read into the record in the United States House of Representatives. And then at the close of their session, it will be bound and archived in the Library of Congress, forever part of our nation's history. Now, Jack, you have had quite a career, and this is quite the letter, about probably a type 9 font. So I'm just going to read the beginning of it, and that way we can hear from from Ned Miller, who will be presenting you with the award. But I do want to read just the beginning. That will be read into the congressional record this week on behalf of Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. Mr. Speaker, it is my great honor to rise today to join the communities of the Naugatuck Valley as they pay tribute to the outstanding and incalculable contributions of Jack Walsh by honoring him with the 47th Annual Charles H. Flynn Humanitarian Award. The oldest award of its kind, this prestigious honor is bestowed each year to a member of the Valley community in recognition of their lifetime commitment to service. A lifelong resident of Derby, Connecticut, Jack dedicated his personal and professional life to enriching the many communities of the Naugatuck Valley and improving the quality of life for all of its residents. Jack began his career as a teacher in Shelton and Derby, a high school basketball coach in Shelton, and the director of the Derby Recreational Camp. In each of these roles, Jack helped to shape the hearts and minds of the next generations of Valley residents, ensuring that they had access to educational opportunities and provide a strong foundation to which they build their future. It goes on, and it does conclude with saying, tonight, marking his lifetime of service, Jack Walsh is presented with the Charles H. Flynn Humanitarian Award, and I cannot think of a more deserving individual to recognize for their commitment, dedication, and extraordinary good work. I'm honored to join the communities of the Naugatuck Valley in thanking Jack for his unparalleled public service. His is a legacy that will not soon be matched and will most certainly continue to inspire service for generations to come.
The fact is, Jack had a lifetime of community involvement, and it's my honor to present Jack with the 2017 Charles H. Flynn Humanitarian Award.
Isn't it interesting? I don't know if you know the history of the Charles H. Flynn Humanitarian Award, but Charles H. Flynn was the editor of the Evening Sentinel. And I can tell you, under Charlie Flynn's watch, there was no alternative facts in the Evening Sentinel. And, you know, for me, that actually turns out to be a very, very special connection with Charles Flynn, okay? Because believe it or not, my father and Charlie Flynn were both graduates of the Derby High School class of 1924. And they also were both class speakers at their graduation at the stage at the Sterling Opera House. Charlie Flynn spoke about Valley history. I think I got a little bit of that myself. And my father's talked about radio controversy. And for the life of me, I'd never seen the speech. I don't know what it was. But then today I decided to go out and take a look. And boy, he was ahead of his time, because the radio controversy back then could be the Twitter controversy of today. Because in 1924, the President Coolidge gave the first radio speech by a president of the United States, and it wasn't necessarily received very well. A lot of people thought it was controversial. So I got a little bit of community from both of them. You know, as Ned mentioned, I originally didn't apply for this job. I was a happy camper. I was a teacher at Shelton High School. I coached the basketball team, and I worked at the recreation camp. And it was Terry Chatfield and Jack Kiley who convinced me to apply, and one thing led to another. And then in a moment of utter insanity, I said yes. And it's 28 years later. But in between, I think I have to blame my late brother-in-law, Jack Murphy. He's really the guy that was responsible for it because, again, I was teaching and coaching in Shelton, or I don't think I was at Shelton at that point. I was just teaching and coaching other places, and he's the one who said, hey, Jack, the job at the recreation camp is open. And I learned to swim at the recreation camp, just celebrated its 100th anniversary last year. And that's what got me to United Way, because I'd have to go out and speak for United Way because that's where the rec got all its money. So obviously I had a warm spot for United Way in my heart. Then I got to United Way, and I was really fortunate. Lou Savitsky, Mr. United Way, was there. Nancy, where's Nancy? She's hiding someplace, I'm sure.
In the back of the bus.
And Carol, and then Pat Tarasova came along. And it was just an incredible group of people to work with. And our board was years ahead of its time. Said, Jack, if we're going to do anything, we have to start doing other things besides just fundraising. Well, that's the most important thing. And that's how I got involved in all those other things. But I was really lucky. Everything I've done, you looked at that list, they were all things that I wanted to do. They were all things that I enjoyed doing. In fact, I'm still doing some of them now. Where's John Sacku? I'm kind of following in John's footsteps with the Water Pollution Control Authority. It's quite a ways down from United Way president to the sewers, believe me. But I've learned more about sewers in the last 8 months than I ever wanted to know. But along with that, I've been involved with the Greenway, which I still am. This week we selected members for the Derby Hall of Fame, which I've enjoyed. I really have just been lucky that I was able to do all the things that I like to do at the same time as I got paid to do other things that I like to do. That just doesn't happen very often. So again, I'm very fortunate to get this award. It's special because of the family. And I just want to point out my brother and my sister and all those again who said congratulations. Jim's standing over there. I'm up here. So, it was a mistake. And my sister's over there, and my lovely nieces and their family are over there. So I want to thank them for coming tonight. And let me finish by mentioning Ray Levites. A lot of you know who Ray Levites was. The gym at Harvard is named after Ray. And I remember when I got to United, I was sitting down with Ray and saying, hey, Ray, he was in his mid-70s back then, still very active, doing everything. I said, why are you doing this? You got the money to go off and do anything you want and just enjoy life. He said, Jack, it goes back to my father. My father told me, when I was a young man, that I had to leave this place better than I found it. And, I hope in accepting this award tonight that I've done enough to make it a little better than it was when I got here so that I can say that I deserve this award. Thank you.